I'll start.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, but I think I'm not the host.
Yes, ma'am. You're the co-host.
Oh. Yes, I'm the host. Correct. Okay. Good evening, children. So this is yet another session of Olympiad grade 4, and we'll be continuing with plants. Now, last time I had explained to you about the basic things about in plants, whatever type of questions will be coming. Like you'll be asked, say, the parts of the plant, of the flower, the types of plants, whether they are herbs, shrubs, creepers, climbers. Then you'll be asked, say, about the adaptations in plants, how the plants, where they grow, desert, mountain, and all that. So basically, we had read everything last time, germination and all that. So this time I've chosen some questions where we can just revise. Okay. So we'll just start. We had done till question number 15. We'll start with the 16th question now. Okay. Next, question number 16. Now, this type of questions are very common in Olympiad. And these are like ratio questions, okay? You have to check the pattern of the first one and then choose the next one. For example, warm climate is to neem as evergreen is to what? Okay. So since warm climate, neem grows, so evergreen is to what? So what is an evergreen tree? Now, out of this, which one is an evergreen tree? Trees that do not shed their leaves in autumn. Yes?
Ma'am, zoom little bit, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I forgot. That's okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I did it 150. Okay. So trees that do not shed their leaves in autumn, they remain green throughout the year. And deciduous, just the opposite is deciduous trees, they shed their leaves in autumn. Autumn or now in this, in America, autumn is known as fall. You know why? Because that is the season where all the leaves fall. So in America and other countries, it is known as the fall season. But in India, here in the tropical countries, we call it as the autumn season. So during autumn, you must have seen that the leaves, they turn some other color, like the turns yellow, and then they fall. But not all trees. Some of the trees, they remain green throughout the year. Okay, so the ones that remain green throughout the year are known as evergreen trees, and the ones where the leaves fall are known as deciduous trees. And this is a evergreen tree. So answer will be this. Deodar. Okay. Next one, similar question. I've chosen two similar questions so that you get into practice. So this is a similar question like ratios. So this is to this as this is to this. So you have to check the pattern of the first one and then do the next one. So trees is to dogwood. Now dogwood is a tree, as bushes is to what? Now what are these bushes? Now there is always a confusion between bushes and shrubs. Okay. So here there is, I've just explained it. Now, a shrub and bush are often used interchangeably. Sometimes a bush is called a shrub is called a bush. But then a bush describes the way a shrub or other plant grows. Sometimes you cut a tree and cut it in such a way that it looks like a bush. So a shrub is a woody plant with several stems, and it is a bush when it grows densely and closer to the ground. So that is the only difference. But then both of them have got woody stems and several stems. But when they grow densely closer to the ground, then they are known as bush. So here bushes. So here the answer will be rose is a bush. Okay, so I hope you understood what shrubs are. Trees, shrubs, herbs. So bush, the bush is also, you can use it along, just like shrub. Now, which of these flowers bloom only at night? Now, this is another thing about flowers. Now, they bloom at night, means they open up at night. Okay. And one of them, out of this, sunflower, no. Sunflower always faces the sun. Water lily, no. Water lily blooms in the night also, day also. Morning glory also, no. And it is the primrose. And this primrose is also known as the evening primrose. That is the full name of it, the evening primrose, or just the primrose. But why do you think that they bloom only during the night? There are some flowers which bloom only during the night. Okay, so they bloom only during the night because they are pollinated by moths. Moth. I'll just write down the name. Moth. Sorry. So they are pollinated by moths. And moths, they come only in the night. So that is why these flowers, they open up at night so that they can be pollinated. Now, last time we had done what is pollination and fertilization. We'll do it as we go to the next few questions. We'll quickly revise it also, in case you have forgotten. Next. This is a very easy question. Dash sells flowers to others. It is the florist. This is an interdisciplinary question of English. So this has been just included here. Next. The dash are produced in the flower. What are produced in the flower? Here. Now here. There can be two questions. The seeds are also produced in the flower. The pollen also, not the leaves and not the stomata. But which will be the correct answer? The seeds are formed only when the flower has become the fruit. Okay. So what is produced inside the flower when the flower is in the flower condition? It is the pollen. Okay. Okay. So did you understand this question? So it is, you may call this as seed or pollen. Now this question also I have chosen carefully so that you read the question during Olympiad before you answer. Dash are produced in the flower. And in the flower, it is not when the flower has formed the fruit. It is in the flower means when the flower is in that condition. It is in the flower condition. So that will be pollen. Pollen is present in the flower. Flowers are used as dash in the textile or cloth industry. Here, it will be dye. Because many of the flowers, for example, saffron is a flower used to make the saffron dye. Rose, marigold, lavender, they are all of these flowers are used to make dyes. And these flowers are bright in color and they are the dye, the color is extracted out of it. And they are used to make this. So the answer will be next. The flower develops into dash in some plants. The flower develops into what? After pollination and fertilization, the flower develops into what? I think this we have done earlier also. So this is just a revision question for you. So it will be fruit. Okay. Next. Eucalyptus is a dash plant. This question also I have chosen because it has got two types of answers in it. Eucalyptus is a dash plant. Now, eucalyptus is a plant which is actually Australian in origin. You must have heard of koala bear. Okay, they eat eucalyptus leaves. They're famous for eating eucalyptus leaves. And they're native of Australia. In India also it grows, and it grows in mountain regions in India. And you must have heard in South there are the Nilgiri Hills. Now Nilgiri Hills, Giri means mountain, Nil means blue. Now these mountains have been called Nilgiri because there is a blue haze in the surroundings. And this blue haze comes from the eucalyptus leaves. And if you see the eucalyptus leaves, sometime if you go to say any hill station like Ooty or somewhere, Kodaikanal and all, if you take off the leaves and you crush it, it smells like wicks. So oil is extracted from it and it has got a highly medicinal value. So this eucalyptus oil is very good for cold and cough and all that. And it grows in the mountains, but it grows in the desert also. But here in India, in most of the time, it grows in mountain regions. I'll just show you the eucalyptus plant in case you have never seen it. Here, these are the eucalyptus plants and you can see these are the mountains on which it grows. And if you go to any hill station, you'll find eucalyptus trees in between the tea gardens, 1 or 2 eucalyptus trees in between the tea gardens there. So this is eucalyptus, very tall trees. Okay, and the leaves are oil is extracted from it. And these type of trees, these type of questions may come depending, and some very famous or some very popular trees can be asked. So it is a very common, eucalyptus is a very common one, right? So we'll go back to the next question. We had stopped here. Okay. Which of these has got fibrous root? Last time I told you the 2 types of roots. In case you remember, just a minute, I'll just mute. Sorry, children, there was some disturbance in my audio, so I had to switch it off. Okay. So we were doing about the types of roots. There are 2 types of roots. Basically, there are 2 types of roots. Otherwise, there are many modified roots. But 2 types of roots, that is the fibrous root and the tap root. Okay. Now, depending on the type of plant, we can identify these 2 roots. Now look here. Monocot plants are plants which have got seeds with 1 cotyledon. Dicot plants are plants which have got seeds with 2 cotyledons. This also I had done it last time. Okay. Now, you don't have to sort of see the seed or how to identify a monocot plant and a dicot plant. So you can uproot this. So you can see the roots. The monocot plant has got fibrous root and the dicot plant has got taproot, right? So here now these are the differences between monocot and dicot plants, okay? Something wrong. Sorry once again. So here, these are the differences between monocot and dicot. Monocot plants are those plants with seeds with one cotyledon. For example, wheat, rice, bajra, maize, they are all monocot plants. Dicot plants, for example, green, gram, pea, bean, groundnut, apple, mango, they're all dicot plants. Now, you don't have to see only the seed to find out whether the plant is monocot or dicot. So there will be several questions on this monocot and dicot. So if you're asked that these are the type of leaves which you see. Now leaves which have got parallel veins. Veins, all of you know, that is part of the leaf. These lines which are present on the leaves, they are known as veins, right? So if the lines run parallel to each other, they belong to a monocot plant. But if they've got like a network of veins, like this one, they belong to a dicot plant, right? We'll leave out this one, which you'll read in higher classes. Now, root. If you see the root, for example, grass and rice and wheat, they have got fibrous root. Dicot plants have got this tap root, dicot plants, okay? And the tap root is long and not many branches. But here, the fibrous root has got several branches, many lateral roots coming out from here. The flower of the monocot plant has got 3 or multiples of 3. The floral parts, that is sepal, petals, stamens, they are all 3 or multiples of 3. So you can have 3 sepals or 6 sepals or 9 sepals. But dicot plants, they've got 5 or multiples of 5. Okay, so they are pentamerous, they are trimerous. So in this way, you can find out whether the plant is a monocot or dicot. So if you see the root of the plant, you can come to know whether the plant, you needn't have to see the seed. Okay, so fibrous, which of these will be fibrous root? So what will be the answer? Bean. Bean is a dicot. So what type of root will it have? Tap root. Onion. Onion is a monocot. So what type of root will it have? Fibrous. Grass. Grass is, what type of root will it have? Fibrous, because it is monocot. Wheat. What type of root will it have? It will be fibrous. So this question actually should be, which of these has fibrous root? Which of these does not have fibrous root? Okay, so I will just correct this question because all of them. So because onion, grass and wheat, they are all monocots. So all of them will have fibrous root. Only the bean will have tap root. So, okay. So that question, read the question before you answer. Which of these plants remain evergreen throughout the year? Throughout the year. So evergreen means, just now I told you, evergreen plants are plants that have got leaves, that the leaves do not fall during autumn. So the plant remains green throughout the year. So they will be evergreen trees. Desert plants, no, they don't have any leaves. And whatever bushy are there, the leaves fall. Coastal area plants, no. Wet area plants. Now, what are these wet area plants? They are actually the plants of the rainforests. Okay, the rainforests. So these are the plants which are evergreen. Okay, underground plants. Underground plants, of course, they'll not be plants. They'll be roots or underground stems and all that. Not that. So answer will be rainforest plants. Can you name any rainforest? Do you know the rainforest? The largest rainforest is the Amazon rainforest, which has got many, many, many species of plants growing there. So it is a huge area of forest, which is known as the Amazon rainforest. And you'll be reading more about this in grade 4, when you read about adaptations of plants, and you'll be reading about plants that grow in rainforests. Next, match the following. Here, match the following. Coconut grows in what type of areas? Cactus grows in what type of area? Mango grows in what type of area? And mangroves grow in what type of area? Okay, coconut. You must have seen coconut grows near water bodies. So it will be in coastal areas. Okay, so 1 will be 3. So here also these type of questions I told you, you'll be saving time. If you see the first one and you find out from here what can be the answer. So coconut grows in coastal areas. So let us concentrate on this. Cactus. Cactus grows in desert areas. So 2 will be 1. Correct? This one. Mango. Mango grows in plains, not in forest or not in desert or not in mountains. It grows in plains. Okay, mangroves. Sorry. Mangroves. Mangroves grows in marshy areas. What are marshy areas? Marshy areas means the soil is clay. Okay. And these marshy, now there have been 1 or 2 years when a diagram of mangroves has been given in the Olympiad exam, and you have been asked to identify the root. So that is why I've chosen this question and also a picture. I think last time we did this, but then I didn't show you a picture of it. So today I think I brought a picture of mangrove plants, which you can just see here. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'll just show you. Here, these are mangrove plants. Okay, I'll just zoom it a bit. Okay, here. You can see that these are the areas near the sea. Okay. The Sundarbans is the largest mangrove forest in India, and you'll find that these trees grow there in plenty. These are the mangrove trees, and the area which is under mangrove trees are known as mangrove forests. And these have got 2 types of roots. Now here you must have seen these sort of roots here, and you will see here there are some roots which are coming above the soil here. You can see these coming, jutting out like pins, they're jutting out of the soil. Now, what are these 2 roots here? Now, this, since they are growing in marshy area, that is full of clay, and the roots will not be able to breathe because the clay, it just binds the soil. There'll be no air for them. So the roots, they need air. Okay. So they come out of the soil. So that is why these sort of roots are known as breathing roots. They are known as breathing roots. And these roots, now since they're growing near the sea, so whenever there'll be a current, a water current, and there'll be huge waves, so these trees will be washed away. Okay. So the roots, actual roots, they cannot bind it. They need some extra root to bind it to the soil so that these strong water currents cannot wash them away. So they have got these sort of roots, which are also known as prop roots. Okay. So they help the plant to hold the ground firmly so that they do not get washed away. Okay. Now this is another tree which I wanted you to see. And this is these are roots which are coming from top. Now these things which you are seeing here, they are nothing but the roots. And these, since they are coming, they are outside the soil, they are known as aerial roots. Okay. So these are known as aerial roots. And this is a huge banyan tree, and the banyan tree is so huge. So the actual trunk cannot support it. So that is why the roots grow from top and come down from up it comes. Okay. It grows from the branches and then it comes down. It is not from down it goes up. The breathing roots is just the opposite. From the ground it comes up. But these aerial roots, from the branches, it goes down and goes into the soil. Now here you can see some roots hanging. So they are growing from the branches above and they are going down. Okay. Okay. So these are known as aerial roots. For example, in the famous banyan tree, you can see these type of roots. Okay. So we'll go back to the question now. Okay, we were doing this question, I think. Okay. So what will be the answer to this? So coconut, yes, this will be this one. Okay, coconut grows in the coastal areas, so 1 is 3. Cactus grows in desert areas, so 2 is 1. Mango grows in the plains, so 3 is 4. Mangroves grow in marshy areas. I hope now you've understood what marshy areas are. Okay, I'll just see if there are any questions. Yes. Right. Answer is A. So some students are answering good. Okay, next. Dash are usually colorful and attract birds and insects that help with pollination. Last time we had done the parts of the flower, and I told you that the petals are colorful structures that attracts. Why are they colorful? So that they attract insects for pollination. So insect visit the flowers to suck the nectar, and during that time, they also help in pollination. So they get the nectar and the flowers get the pollination done by the insects. Okay. So here, petals are brightly colored. Before the class, we'll quickly revise parts of the flower also. I will show you the PPT where the parts of the flower we had seen. A quick revision. Match the following. Aerial roots, just now I showed. Aerial roots, they're not covered by soil. Okay, they grow from the branches above and then come down. Mangroves. So where do mangroves grow? Mangroves grow in marshy areas. Pollen. Pollen is carried by wind. Now, pollen is carried by insects. Like I told you, insects also do pollination. Wind also does pollination. Birds do pollination. Water does pollination, especially of aquatic plants. Plants that grow in water, pollination is done by water. Okay. So here there are many agents for pollination. There are birds, the bees, birds, the insects, the water, and wind. So pollen is carried by wind. Now, fences. Now, the saplings which are grown, for example, you have to grow some trees, avenue trees on the roadside, okay? Or you're growing it on next to your house, outside. So when they are young, when they're small, when the plant is very small, that is known as saplings. But when it is a sapling, some cows or buffaloes can eat it. So to protect it, what do? You put a fence around it. So these fences protect young saplings. That is the answer. Okay, forest prevents cutting down of trees. Okay, in the forest, cutting down of trees are not allowed. So what will be the answer? Aerial roots will be not covered by soil. So A will be 5. So this one. B, mangroves, 3, marshy area. C, 4, carried by wind. D, 1, protect by young saplings. Forest, 2, prevents cutting down of trees. So answer will be this one. A. Yes, I think you have written A. Oh, yes, all of you have written A. Okay, next question. Now, this question, there are 2 questions, all relating to this one diagram here. The given figure shows 4 stages in the growth and development of a bean plant. This shows stages of germination. The stages are labeled as P, Q, R, and S. So here, what is being shown? They are being shown the stages of germination. Right? Okay. Some stages have been missed out and P, Q, R, and then S has been drawn. But you have to answer what the question asks. In which stage of germination, in which stage is germination first visible? Germination is when the seeds have just sprouted. Okay. What comes out first when the seed germinates? It is the root that comes out first. And what is the young root known as? It is known as radicle. Okay. So here you can see in P, the root has come out. So in which stage is germination first visible? P. Why? What is done here? Because the radicle has grown. The radicle has grown and it forms the root. Okay, radicle, it will grow downward and will form the root system. Okay, next. Which new structure first appears in stage S? What is the stage S? Here, this is stage S. What new structure is appearing? Now here, nothing new. The root has come, the cotyledon is there, the first leaves have come. So what is new here? Now you can see there are the pods here, the fruit here. Now the fruit will have the seeds. Okay. And then again, when the plant will grow, the seeds will fall and again seed germination will take place. So here, what is the new thing that has come? Which new structure first appears in stage S? The seed. Now here. Functions of the root, functions of the stem, functions of the flower we have already done. And root, stem, and leaf you have to do. So we will do this first, root. The functions of the root. The root, the function is it holds the plant firmly in the soil. And it absorbs water and minerals from the soil. Water also and nutrients also. Okay. So out of this, which of these is not performed by the root? Okay. So please read the question. It is not performed by the roots. Absorbs nutrients from the soil. Yes, it absorbs nutrients from the soil. It absorbs water from the soil. Yes, it absorbs water from the soil. Why? Because see, when you're watering the plants, you pour water into the soil so that the roots absorb it. You don't pour water onto the leaves, isn't it? Right? Or you don't pour water onto the flower. You pour water onto the soil so that once it goes into the soil, the roots can absorb water and nutrients. So it prepares food for the plant. No, it doesn't prepare food for the plant. So this is the incorrect part. It is not performed by the root. It anchors the plant to the ground. Anchor means it holds the plant firmly to the ground, right? So that the plant doesn't get uprooted, the plant doesn't fall off. So these are the functions of the root. In which of these plants are stomata present on the upper surface of the leaf? Now with this, we do the functions of the leaf. Now functions of the leaf. The first very obvious function of the leaf is photosynthesis. It prepares food for the plant. The process of making food is photosynthesis. Okay. So number one is function of the leaf is photosynthesis. What else? Now after the food has been made, the food is then given to the stem, the leaf, the other leaves, the flower, the bud, the branches, the root, and everywhere, because every part of the plant needs food. Okay. So it is not that the leaf will prepare food and will keep it to itself. So it has to distribute. And this is done by the veins. So the food is prepared, carried through veins and to the stem and other parts of the plant. So this is another function. Next function is, now the leaf has got very small openings present. These openings are known as stomata. And from the stomata, there is loss of water happening. Okay, water is lost from the plant by the process of transpiration. So water loss, excess water loss from the aerial parts of the plant is known as transpiration. And this transpiration is done by the leaf through what? Through tiny openings known as stomata. So here, which of these plants are stomata present on the upper surface of the leaf? The answer is floating plants, but why floating plants? Let us see. Stomata has openings and they are usually present on the lower surface of the plants so that the plants can transpire, the plants can give out water. But in the floating plants, the leaf is like this. So this side is covered with water. So how will the excess water move out of the stomata? How can transpiration happen if the openings are towards the lower side? So the openings are on the upper side of the floating plants. So in water plants like lilies, now these are the facts which I've written in red. In water plants like lilies, which have floating leaves, most stomata are found on the upper surface. Stomata on the upper surface helps in exchange of gases between them and the atmosphere. Why? Because this is in order to prevent excess loss of water during transpiration. So this is happening during transpiration. This is because transpiration, loss of water happens, and if the stomata are on the undersurface, like it usually is, then the stomata will be blocked, the openings will be blocked. So the openings are present on the upper surface in floating plants. Okay. Now in the desert plants, for example, in cactus, stomata, they cannot afford to have stomata. But is it that they don't have stomata? No, they have stomata. But these stomata are deep below. Now in all other plants, the stomata is present on the surface. But in cactus and other desert plants, the stomata is sunken and it is covered with hairs. Okay, small tiny hairs, so that they trap the water whenever it tries to escape due to transpiration. Okay, so that way they prevent water loss. So that way they prevent water loss and transpiration can be avoided. So this is happening in desert plants. So I hope you know what the function of the leaf is. Number one, photosynthesis. Number two, it translocates the food to other parts, that is to the stem. And number three, it helps in transpiration. Okay. Here, eucalyptus is a mountain plant. I think we have repeated this question. Okay, I think these are the questions which, so we have finished with that exercise. Most of the things we have done, we have covered everything about plant, the stem, the root, and everything about plant. Okay, now we'll quickly revise some important things which okay, pollination. Here, this is parts of the flower diagram. This we had done it last time also. Okay. Yes, we have finished this chapter, right? Now here, this part, these are the parts of the flower. Now, the flower parts are present in whorls. I told you they are floral whorls, and there are 4 floral whorls. The outermost floral whorl is the sepal, which is green in color, and it closes the, it covers the flower in the bud, when it is in the bud stage. Okay, it protects the flower in the bud stage. Then when it starts flowering, these sepals, they open up. Then these are the petals. These petals are brightly colored, like I said. They attract insects, they attract birds to itself so that they can be pollinated. The flowers can be pollinated and the insects are attracted to it so that they can suck the nectar. Okay. The next whorl is the stamens. These are the male parts of the flower. The stamen has got the filament and the anther. And the anther has got pollen. There was one question which we did today about pollen. Pollen is present inside the flower. Okay, it is produced in the flower. So this is the male part. The female part is the centralmost, that is the innermost whorl of the flower, which has got the stigma, style, and the ovary. After pollination and fertilization, this ovary forms the fruit, and the ovules present in it. These small things present in it, those are the ovules, and they will form the seeds. Pollination and fertilization. What happens? These bees and butterflies and birds and all, whenever they visit flower to suck the nectar, these pollen grains, they stick to the legs, okay, the feet of the insect. And then they visit the next flower. These pollen grain then get dusted upon the pistil, okay, this female part of the flower. And then the fusion of the pollen grain and the egg in the ovule happens, and then the seed is formed. So this is pollination and fertilization, which is very important for seed formation. Okay, then photosynthesis is the last thing we'll do. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants make their food. And for that, we need some raw materials, just like mummy needs raw materials to make curry. Okay, so suppose she needs to make potato curry, she'll need potato and masala and onion and all that. So here also the plants need raw materials, and the raw materials are, yes, any question? Excuse me, ma'am. The raw materials are carbon dioxide and water. This carbon dioxide and water has to be now converted to the food. Okay, just like mummy converts the raw material like potato and onion and all into a curry. So here this carbon dioxide and water has to be converted into food. And the food of the plant is sugar, glucose. But for that cooking person, for that to make it into food, they need energy. That energy they get from the sun. But how will the energy come into the leaf? This is brought into the leaf by special pigments which are present in the leaf, which gives it the green color, that is known as chlorophyll. So the chlorophyll traps sunlight and helps the plant to make food. And in the entire process, oxygen is released. And that oxygen is very useful for us. Okay, that is why the plants, we say if there are no plants, we'll not be able to live anymore, because plants give us oxygen. Okay, so this is about photosynthesis. Okay, so any question? The questions are done. Where are the questions you're asking? Questions are done. All the questions I've already done with you. These are the questions. Okay, I'll stop share and I'll show you the questions. These are the questions which we did. Okay. Okay, so with this, we finish this chapter on plants. Next time, we'll meet with a new chapter. And if there are any questions, you can ask. Okay, I think there are no questions here. Okay, so we'll stop share. Okay. Bye, children. So it was all for today. We'll meet again next Monday with a new chapter. Thank you so much.